Oakland and Steel City. Is everybody ready to go? Let's proclaim the greatest radio show.
Welcome, fans, to our Wild Card Pick Show. I'm your host, Jim Stella, here with Jay Dash. I went 3-2 last week, finished the season over 500, and although I didn't lead the spread in victories, I still led it in heart.
Please believe, man. Yeah, I'm going to give you the numbers here real quick. I ended the season 46, 32, and 5 on top with a 590 win percentage for the regular season. Easy came in second with a 45, 33, and 5 record. That's a 577 win percentage on the season. And actually, that's the second and third best win percentages we had through 3 seasons. Johnny Parlay last season had a 632 win percentage.
Crazy.
You ended 41, 37, and 5 with a 526 win percentage. Not bad at all. That actually compares to me last season. I had a 529 win percentage. And Johnny Parlay ended with a 462 win percentage. 36,
couldn't even
42,
break 500.
5. No. He still has a chance, though, through the playoffs here to get back over 500.
Poor bastard. He lost it.
Yeah, but he still leads all-time in wins with 131 and all-time regular season wins with 123.
That's crazy.
Although I lead in win percentage regular season all-time with a 553 win percentage. I'm 121, 98, and 6. All right, let's start with these games here, man.
4 games this weekend, 2 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday. What are we starting with?
We're going to start with the first game on Saturday. It's a 4:35 game. It's Oakland at Houston. Houston is minus 3.5 in this game, and the over-under is 36.5.
Woo! Going under on that one, baby. Listen, Houston's got Brock Osweiler at quarterback. The Raiders have Connor Cook at quarterback. Could this be the most boring playoff game in the history of the world, or could it end up being a shootout because neither guy really understands this? I guess Osweiler a little bit playing in the playoffs last year and being on a Super Bowl team, but he got benched, so he wasn't playing. So do they even understand what they're getting themselves into?
Well, I don't think Osweiler's going to come out and blow up or anything. I guess Cook has a chance to, because really the Texans see nothing about this guy. So I actually think that's kind of a good move for Oakland because Pat McGroin stinks.
He's hurt anyway. That dude's garbage.
Yeah, it sucks for Oakland. This looked like a team that had a very good shot to be a representative for the AFC in the Super Bowl because of Carr and the step he took this season with Amari Cooper. And really, Michael Crabtree's the one that stepped up more than anybody this season offensively outside of Carr. But, they had a team around Carr, Latavius Murray in the backfield. Now, there's still a chance they come out and win this game, but there's pretty much zero chance now this team goes to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's going to be rough. A rookie not only making his first start in the NFL, but it's his first playoff start. It's too much for him.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. I think they can go out and win this game. I still have faith in them for this game because I've been hating on Houston all season long. And actually, Lamar Miller hasn't had the type of season everybody wanted him to have. And he's a little bit banged up right now. And they have no quarterback out there. DeAndre Hopkins was one of the best receivers in the NFL last season. They cannot get him the ball out there. Will Fuller's a guy that had a couple good games early in the season, and then it turned out they couldn't get him the ball anymore. The guy that's really stepped up in this Houston offense in the passing games, C.J. Fedorovich, and that's their tight end out there, and he's a pretty good football player. This is the guy you have to worry about the most on the offense right now, in my mind. But really, even if Tom Savage was the guy to play, this Houston offense just isn't any good with these quarterbacks they have out there. So I believe Oakland can still go out there and win this game, and I am going to pick them to at least cover. I don't know who's going to win. I think Houston, they're better at home. I think they're going to find a way to pull it out. But this game is up in the air to me. Anyone can win this game. So I'm going to take Oakland with the 3.5.
Yeah, it's going to be a close game either way. I agree. And I don't know. I just can't take Oakland considering Connor Cook He was a fourth round pick. I mean, this guy's done nothing in his NFL career.
Yeah,
He can come out and sling it, and Houston knows nothing about him. So it could come out to their, to the Raiders' advantage. If this kid really doesn't let it get in his head. You're right that Oakland has built a team around him. The defense has gotten a little better as the season progressed, and the offense is there. So really, all Cook has to do is not screw it up. And the Texans, it's not like their offense has been lighting it up really all season, but their defense is better. They're a little more seasoned. I like Bill O'Brien as a head coach a little better than Jack Del Rio. And I just think Osweiler being around a team that made a Super Bowl run and won it kind of will have a better feel for the game. And I think, although he doesn't go out and light it up, I think he plays better than Cook, and Houston wins and covers.
Yeah, you're going to say Houston along with Easy. He's going to say Houston. Johnny Parlay and I are going to say Oakland. So we have a spread split here. But you're right. The one difference is Houston's defense. They are better than Oakland's defense, whereas the offense is, I think that's a flip of the coin right now with the quarterbacks they have in. So who knows at this point who has the better offense. But the one thing is Houston does for sure have the better defense. But you're right. Oakland had one of the worst defenses in the league early in the season, and they started to come around a little bit late in the season. All right. The late game on Saturday, 8:15, is Detroit at Seattle. Seattle's -8, and the over-under is 43.
Detroit's been letting me down in recent weeks. I've actually taken them once or twice, or so. We had the game, and I think I picked them. They played so well early in the year. The defense was playing well. Matt Stafford was playing well. But ever since Stafford hurt that finger, I don't know. The offense really hasn't been able to get it together. He's a little more erratic with his passes. I don't know if it gets any better this week, but I also don't have a lot of faith in Seattle. Now, I know they're at home, and I know during this Seattle team's run, the last few years, at home, they've been a really, really tough team to beat. They've blown a lot of teams out, especially in the playoffs. I don't get that feel from this year's Seattle's team. I think they're a lot more vulnerable. They don't have the running game that they had in the past. Russell Wilson's been injured all season, different things. He's probably as healthy as you could be right now as far as a football player at this point in an NFL season. But still, I just don't think that spark is there for that Seattle team this year. So I think this is a really, really big line. And I think that Detroit's defense does just enough to keep them in this game and keep them closer than 8 points. So as far as the spread goes, I think I'm going to take Detroit because Seattle just really doesn't do anything for me this year. And I hate Russell Wilson.
Detroit started out 1-3, and then they went on an 8-1 winning streak, and they took the lead in the division. It looked like they had that division in hand, and then they fell apart and lost the last 3 games of the season. Green Bay, they won their last 7 or 8 games or something to win that division. So that was a great job by them. But Detroit, like you mentioned, since Stafford hurt his finger, and it has to do with the running backs as well. Since Theo Riddick got hurt, they really haven't been the same team, and really defensively that they let off the gas a little bit late in the season as well. During that 8-1 winning streak, I think they let up more than 20 points like once or twice in that span. But during the 3-game losing streak to end of the season, which was actually all against playoff teams, they lost at the Giants, at the Cowboys, and versus the Packers. But the defense let up 73 points in the last just 2 games. Just in the last 2 games, they let up 73 points, and they got blown out by 21 at the Cowboys. They lost by 7 versus the Packers last week, and they actually lost by 9 points to the Giants 3 weeks ago as well. So this team looks totally different. And you're right, I agree with you on Seattle as well. They're really not the same team. They went on a big winning streak at one point too. They were 6-1-1 during one streak of the season, but they actually haven't had a 2-game winning streak in about 2 months now. They've been losing and winning, and they actually won last week at the 49ers, barely beat them 25-23. And that defense has let off a little bit late in the season as well, let up 56 points over their last 2 games. So I don't know. I'm not happy with how Detroit ended their season. They've been playing like crap, but still 8 points in the playoffs. Seattle, yeah, they're a lot better at home. But if it was even 7, I might have thought about Seattle. But 8 points is just too much. I'm going to have to say Detroit with you. Although this is a spread split as well. Easy and Johnny Parlay are saying Seattle.
Looks like we're going to be the victors. They're
Well,
garbage.
Well, I hope so. I'd like to see Detroit just come out and win this game. I want to see
Yeah, I
them
hate
make
Seattle.
a little run. Well, and it doesn't even have to do with Seattle to me. I just want to see Detroit make some kind of run. I'm excited to see what Stafford did this season. He was a guy that people kind of gave up on before this season because he had a couple down years after a couple big years to start his career. And I'm glad to see him get back on track a little bit, especially with Calvin Johnson leaving. I'm guessing he wishes he'd have played one more year now. Although, who knows? Maybe something happened where if he played, this team just isn't as good because they're always looking his way.
Yeah, it seems like that Stafford, I don't want to say he's a better quarterback without Johnson. He just seems to be a little more complete. He's got the rhythm of a passing game going instead of just chucking it up to Megatron every time.
All right, so we got 2 spread splits to start off here, correct? Yes.
Yep. What do we agree on both games so far?
No, we did not agree on Oakland-Houston.
Okay, good, because I don't want to agree on too many games with you.
All right. Maybe that's why I have the best record.
Never.
All right, so we'll move on to the Sunday games. And
do it.
this next game, if you want to hear more about it, we obviously just did a 30-minute segment on it, so you can go check that out as well. And it's the 105 game on Sunday. Miami at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is -10, and the over-under is 47.
Okay, I'm going to say some things, and then I'm going to say some things that don't really go along with some things that I'm going to say. The Steelers' offense is way better than Miami's. The Steelers' defense right now is way better than Miami's. Only saying that because Miami's defense is so beat up. I think they're missing 7 starters of 11 players, so that's rough for any football team. Dolphins got a backup quarterback who's going into the playoffs, who I believe has no playoff experience. The Dolphins are playing on the road. The Steelers are a great home team, especially in the playoffs. In the regular season, since they started playing in January, Pittsburgh's only lost 1 game. It's the best record in January in the regular season all time in the NFL. Obviously, the Steelers are a great playoff team. They have 6 Super Bowls. But I don't think they're going to cover this line at 10. I think this is a huge line. I don't understand it. I said this in the Steelers segment that you talked about. I think Vegas said it at the beginning, or at least I thought Vegas said it at the beginning, just to try to get some early money on Miami because everybody knew that they would go heavy on Pittsburgh. But it stayed this way, so I don't really quite understand it. We both agree that Seattle's line being 8 is a lot. Teams in the playoffs rarely win by 10 or more. It doesn't make sense to me at all, although I think Pittsburgh will win the football game. I think it's a lot closer. So if I'm a betting man, I'm taking Miami, especially if you can take it as a teaser and add either 5 or 7 points. If you're getting Miami at plus 17, that's just ridiculous. Take Miami at plus 17 and Detroit at plus 15. Boom.
Yeah, these are 2 hot teams heading into the playoffs. Pittsburgh, they're 7-0 in their last 7 games, and Miami is 9-2 in their last 11 games, and that 9-2 streak started against Pittsburgh. And I think both of these teams would be smart to try and feature the run in this game. And you know Miami wants to do it with Jay Ajayi and how he blew up this season, especially how he ran against Pittsburgh the last time out. So I think they're going to try to get Ajayi going early in this game. And for Pittsburgh, it's the same thing. They're going to want to get Le'Veon Bell going early because that's how they've been winning games this season with their offenses on the ground with Le'Veon Bell and with their defense, obviously. Because really, Big Ben, since he got injured, he's only had 1 game where I really think he went out there and he's the one that helped win that game. And that was against the Baltimore Ravens when the defense let up a touchdown in the end of the game there. And the Steelers offense needed a drive in the end. And Big Ben and Antonio Brown drove them straight down the field for the win. And that's really the only time since he's been injured that he's really looked like Big Ben. And I think they're going to do the same thing they've been doing throughout the season, and that's feature that run game with Le'Veon Bell. And I think that both teams are going to go out there, and whoever doesn't get that run game going could end up losing this game. And I think 10 points is way too much. I think it could come down to the end of the game. I actually said overtime in the other segment. I don't know if I necessarily believe that, but I don't think it's going to be any more than a 6-point win for Pittsburgh, although I do think they're going to win the game. Let's see, what else are people taking here? Johnny Parlay's going to say Pittsburgh as a spread solo. Easy's going to say Miami as well. And by the way, Easy has the best playoff record. He has a 10-1 playoff record, and he's actually had the best record in one playoff as well. Let me see here. What was the win percentage? 556 win percentage in 2014. So there's a couple more stats for you. Easy's the guy to go with in the playoffs so far through the spread's first 2 seasons. Is there any chance Miami wins this game?
I'll give them 5%.
5%. Well, actually, I've seen they have a 0.9% chance of winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah, for Pittsburgh fans, too, we won 7 in a row. I say we, I shouldn't say that. They won 7 in a row. Can they win 11 in a row to win the Super Bowl?
Yeah,
that's a big feat for any team.
I think the last time they won the Super Bowl, didn't they go on a big run in the end of the season and then go straight through? As like
that was the 05 season.
That was the 05 season. Well,
yeah.
Either way, it's been a while since they've been at the Super Bowl. Although
this is the longest winning streak of Big Ben's career.
Really?
Yeah. Regular season. That's what I heard.
Yeah, it ended up they didn't even need a couple of these wins late in the season. We were talking about that Baltimore Ravens game being a huge game. They ended up, beating them by 3 games in the division.
Believe it.
All right, let's move on to the final game here. And that is the 4:40 game on Sunday. The New York Giants at Green Bay. Green Bay's -5, and the over-under is 44.5.
This was probably the hardest game for me to pick this week. I think both teams are pretty good. I think both teams are pretty much the same. They can throw the ball pretty well with 2 pretty good quarterbacks. Both have won a Super Bowl. Eli's won 2, Aaron's won 1. Neither team runs the ball particularly well. The Giants just don't quite have a guy on the roster. The Packers, they just kept seeming to get hurt. Every single time they had a running back play, got hurt. They had Ty Montgomery playing running back. He's a wide receiver, so you know that they had some struggles running the football. Both defenses, I think Green Bay's might be a little weaker than the Giants. I think the Giants defense, they've been there before, although those players from those Super Bowl teams are mostly gone. I just kind of like the Giants defense a little better. I like what they do. I think 5 points is very, very close. If it was 4 or 4.5, I may have gone Green Bay, but 5 points here, I think I'm going to take the Giants, especially if it moves any more in favor of the Giants. I would definitely take them over Green Bay. That's not saying anything bad about Green Bay. I just think both teams are so evenly matched that I'm surprised it's not 3.
Yeah, I think Green Bay's going to win this game. I think they're on a roll right now. Let me see here. They are on a 6-game winning streak at this point. After starting the season 4-6, they needed every win they got. But the big difference to me is the defenses here. The Green Bay Packers, they can be beat in the passing game big time. And if you actually look, they let up 27 points against the Bears 3 weeks ago, 25 against the Vikings 2 weeks ago, and 24 against the Lions last week. So this defense is not playing nearly as good as the Giants, who let up 10 last week. They did let up 24 the week before against the Eagles, but look at this. Before that, 6 points, 7 points, 24 against the Steelers, but 13 points, 16 points, 20 points. This team, it's all about their defense right now. I think Eli Manning, he has experience in the playoffs. Aaron Rodgers has experience in the playoffs. I trust both of these quarterbacks, but the big difference to me here are these defenses. I think the New York Giants are a lot tougher to score against than the Green Bay Packers are. So I think the Giants, I don't know if they're going to move on or not. Eli Manning, he does some crazy things in the playoffs, so he could go out there and win this game. I think it's going to be Green Bay moving on, though. But this -5, I'm going to go with the road team in all these games, man. I'm saying the New York Giants. These lines are just too much for me.
We need Easy in here for some sound effects.
Johnny Parlay's going spread solo again with Green Bay. The rest of us saying the New York Giants.
So do I agree with Parlay at all? I think on one game, right?
I don't like the New York Giants run game. Let me see here. You did not agree with them at all. You have 4 different picks than them.
Squaw.
But yeah, I don't like the Giants' run game as much as the Green Bay's. Now, Green Bay had a lot of problems with the run game throughout the season, but really, Ty Montgomery, man, I like this guy. I don't know if they're going to keep him at running back or what, but this guy can blow up sometimes. It's going to be tough to do it against the New York Giants defense, but I think he has a better chance to have a good game than, who is it, Rashad Jennings over there in New York?
Correct.
I like Green Bay's run game more. I don't know which passing game I like more. I like... Obviously, Odell Beckham's one of the best in the league. Jordy Nelson's been one of the best in the league over the past few years. He's not having quite as big of a season this year after being injured last year. But
I believe he led the league in touchdowns.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
receiving touchdowns.
I mean, I believe that because late in the season there, he did start to blow up. But it's still, he got off to a slow start, I should say.
Definitely.
But right now, Jordy Nelson looks good. I think... the New York Giants are a little deeper receiver. They got that Sterling Shepard out there. We like that guy. He's just a rookie. He's had a pretty big season out there. Victor Cruz has had a solid season as well. Nothing big or anything, but he's definitely stepped into a role again for that New York Giants offense out there. But I like the receivers for the Giants. I like the Packers run game. It turns back to the defense to me. The defenses are a lot different. The New York Giants playing a lot better right now.
Agreed.
All right, so what we have here, we have a split on Oakland and Houston. Jim and Easy saying Houston. Johnny Parlay and myself saying Oakland. We have a split on Detroit and Seattle. Johnny Parlay saying Seattle. Easy saying Seattle. You and I are saying Detroit. And two spread solos here for Johnny Parlay. He's saying Pittsburgh and Green Bay. The rest of us saying Miami and the New York Giants.
Poor Parlay getting no wins this week.
I think he's going to pull at least one out, man.
Never. If
Well,
he
if he
gets
does-
one, that's a loss for me. So I
If he
can't
pulls
have
one
him
out,
win.
hopefully it's Oakland because I picked them. But actually, hopefully it's Pittsburgh.
Well, I just want Pittsburgh to win. I don't care about how many points.
I hope they win 62-3.
Fans, let us know what you think about the games. Hit us up on Twitter at bet_the_spread. Hit me up on Twitter at betjimtowin. Check out our Facebook page at facebook.com/betthespread. You can find all our episodes there. Keep coming back to YouTube. That's where the blunt of our stuff is. Click subscribe. Tell your friends. Listen to the show while you're driving, while you're working, when you go to the dentist. Doesn't matter what you're doing. Listen to the spread, because if you're not, you're missing out.